There is no controversy over the fact that Joseph Smith lived, but that does not mean that all his claims are true. It does not mean that his Mormon Church or the Church of the Latter-day Saints is God ordained and that his Mormon Bible speaks the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. In like manner, there are no two opinions that Muhammad really lived, but that does not mean that he was a prophet of God or his other claims are true. In contrast, there is no evidence whatsoever of Jesus having ever lived. Even if he lived, it does not mean that he was the Son of God by a virgin, or that he worked miracles, or that he rose from the dead, or that he will come again. It was Paul and his cult of followers who concocted the prevailing stories about Jesus and his disciples. It may be pertinent to note that according to the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 11, none of the original apostles or disciples of Jesus were present at Antioch when the name Christian was used for the first time. In fact, it is safe to assume that neither Jesus nor his followers had even heard the name Christ, which is Greek meaning the anointed one. On the other hand, Jesus and his disciples, if they existed at all, they knew only Hebrew and Aramaic. The first Gospels were written in Greek and Coptic, languages totally aligned to Jesus and his followers. This also points to the fact that Jesus had nothing whatsoever to do with the biblical Gospels. In fact, Jesus and Christ are as different as can be in both letter and spirit. According to Matthew 19:21, Jesus had exhorted his followers, who were not yet called Christians, to sell all they have and give it to the poor. In contrast, Paul tells his Christian followers to sell all they have and to hand over the proceeds to Peter, or rather to the new Christian setup. To bring this about, Acts chapter 5 narrates the story of Ananias and Sapphira, who were struck dead because though they sold all their properties, they withheld some of the proceeds for themselves. This practice of squeezing out the followers is the mainstay of the church even to this day. At the time, Christianity was just one of many cults that flourished in Rome. Manichaeism was another of such cults founded by Mani, who hailed from present-day Iraq. Mani claimed that he was a prophet of God and a successor to Adam, Buddha, Zoroaster, and Jesus. It may be pertinent to note that Jesus and later on Mohammad also made similar claims of being the successors of the prophets. Mani's followers outnumbered Christians many times over and spread from the Roman Empire in the west to China in the east, whereas Christianity was restricted mostly to the Roman Empire. However, in the 4th century, an empress of Rome called Helena, she converted to Christianity, and that was a new breath of life for for Christianity. Subsequently, after Helena converted to Christianity, her son, Emperor Constantine, also became an adherent of Christianity, though he was baptized only on his deathbed. It was Saint Paul who laid the foundations of Christianity, and it was Emperor Constantine who contributed most to the superstructure of Christianity as we know it today. Before Constantine, Christians were often persecuted in Rome and they remained docile and peaceful since they were not in a position to take on the empire. But the royal patronage under Emperor Constantine and his successor Theodosius the Great turned Christianity aggressive and spread all over the Roman Empire as Islam did later under Muhammad and the caliphs. One of Constantine's greatest achievement in promoting Christianity was the formulation of the Nicene Creed, which is to Christianity what the constitution is to a democracy. Except that a constitution can be amended, whereas the Nicene Creed cannot be amended to a great extent. The salient points of the creed are: 1. God the Father is the creator of heaven and earth. Jesus is his son who took on human form from the relationship between the Holy Ghost and Virgin Mary. 3. Jesus died on the cross for our salvation. 4. Jesus was buried and rose from the dead on the third day. 5. Jesus ascended into heaven and sits on the right hand of the Father. 6. He shall return with glory to judge the living and the dead. Further on, the creed professes that they believe in the Holy Ghost, in the Catholic Church, the resurrection of the dead, and so on. None of the articles of the creed has been substantiated by any evidence and so is liable to be trashed from the scientific perspective. The article that Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father is downright ridiculous, since God is ethereal without any body and so cannot have a right hand or a left. It is much the same with the fundamental articles of all religions. All of today's myths and articles of faith were concocted by our illiterate ancestors who lived 2000 to 4000 or more years ago, from their dreams and from their inclinations to spin anthropomorphic stories.